pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Moved and seconded to approve the agenda. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
It's unanimous. Board Secretary?
This portion of the agenda allows an individual the opportunity to address the board on any item not on the agenda regarding district business. State law prohibits the district from taking any action on any items not on the agenda unless authorized under section 54954.2 of the government code, and the matter may be referred to the general manager. An individual may also address the board on any agenda item at the time the matter is discussed and prior to board consideration or action. Speakers will be limited to 5 minutes. Your time will start when you approach the podium and you'll be given a 30-second warning before your time expires. If you choose to ask a question during this time, any response by the board will not extend your time. Questions may be referred to the general manager to be answered at a later time after the meeting. In order to allow for a smooth and orderly meeting and allow each speaker the ability to address the board, disruptions from the audience will not be tolerated and you can be asked to leave. We appreciate your cooperation in this democratic process.
Are there any public comments on things not on the agenda? Never. Sue? Christie? All right, new business. New business item number 1, adopt resolution 2017-1, authorizing and ordering judicial foreclosure of current and past delinquent special assessments in said district pursuant to the Improvement Bond Act of 1950 and taking certain actions in connection therewith. Presenter Ronald B. Smith.
Yes, Mr. President. This is the standard for the bond issues that were issued years ago. People that are delinquent on their taxes, the RCSD has an obligation to the bondholders and the trustees of the banks, and so that this is to remove them from the tax rolls, and our attorney moves forward to try to collect that.
I guess the question, well, there any questions? Anybody? I have a question that I had was, some of these are very small amounts, $187.54. I assume they're probably just 1 year taxes that they owe.
Correct.
And these are for the 2 assessment districts that haven't paid off, or are they for more than that?
Those are for those assessment districts.
The 2 big ones, 19.
Yeah, the one that they, I think they matured at the end of this last year, and that's why we were busy in court to finish up the other ones. Here's the situation that legally the RCSD has been put under, is a lot of times in bond documents, there's a de minimis amount that they say you don't have to go after. In these bond documents that were produced for the RCSD, that language is not in those documents. So we're legally obligated to go after even if it's a penny. Now, we've been trying to work things out so we don't get into situations, especially in a single family home, but ultimately we're responsible for the 2 banks and the bondholders.
And this amount, total amount of $333,000, that's only for those years that are mentioned. It's substantially more in some cases.
Right, this is the standard one that you've had, I mean, numerous times. We've had about, maybe about 5 or 6 of them.
Well, that's the first time I've seen one.
Yeah, this is only for the 15-16 tax year
Right.
delinquencies, so there are prior year delinquencies as well. These are merely the parcels that are delinquent this year that we haven't previously authorized.
Okay. And it comes before the board every 2 or 3 years, is what you're saying?
We've had 2 of them since I've been.
Yeah.
We've had 2 of them since I've been.
Okay, so we've never seen it. And they can pay the bill and then come off of that, is that right? If they do.
Right.
I mean, the guy with $74,000 tax bill is probably not going to pay it. The guy with $187,000 might want to consider that rather than lose his house.
Correct.
Okay.
Right. And the attorney starts sending out notices, you know.
Yeah.
As you know, we had, I mentioned their name, but they were here publicly, and I was able to work something out with them, so they were able to get, something worked out for them. And so they're all taken care of now. That was their helm. It was, some of their fault. They weren't paying attention to the legal notices that would be sent to them, and so that one's all taken care of. And so they can always give us a call and work something out.
Okay, well, let's answer my questions. Any other questions? Any questions from the public? Okay, it's
So move. Second.
Moved by Mr. McKay, second by Mr. Glennan. That we adopt resolution 2017-01 as read. Roll call vote, Madam Secretary.
Vice President Shingeldecker.
Yes.
Director Williford.
Yes.
Director Glennan.
Yes.
Director Mackay.
Yes.
President Landsgaard.
Aye.
Unanimous.
Okay, next up is new business item number 2, adopt resolution 2017-2, changing the district's bulk water fee. Presenter Ronald D. Smith.
Yes, the reason we're changing the fee, we actually found that the bulk water fee, there wasn't really a fee that was actually ever adopted. And since we're changing the way we're doing the bulk water now, we decided that this was the time to actually create a fee. And so it's going to be 1 penny a gallon. We've had it before where they just said, well, just charge them the base rate, and they can come in the back here and, you know, and fill up water. And we've had a lot of security problems, you know, gate codes were given out, people were coming in when they're not supposed to, security was bad, and also we have people that are water vendors that come in and they take water and they sell it to people. And so we said that in order to capture the true costs and everything, Brach and John came up with this great idea of the vending machine. And the penny is the lowest we can, I don't think we can use a half a penny, right? It's the
No, we can't
penny
use.
is the lowest that we can charge. And so now anybody can come and get the water, and as long as they pay for it. And then in case you're worrying about, we're talking, the discussion we had today was, it's our water. The majority of the bulk water people, from my understanding, they don't live in our district. They live out someplace further, and this is a good place to come and get water, right? A number of them. So the idea is, we're giving, and you know how special water is to us now, how short we're going to be in a few years. This is Rosamond's water, and we only can pump so much of it, and we're letting somebody take it out of the district. But like we calculate today, if somebody were to buy the water at the penny a gallon, if they were to buy an acre foot of it, it was what, $3,200?
Yeah.
An acre foot, as you know, because you can hear in the prices, that's more than enough to pay for replenishment to the water master and pump. So it's above and beyond what we need to make ourselves whole and take care of our, because we have to take care of our ratepayers first. That's the #1 priority.
I know my neighbor, the only question he asked me about the water district is, how's the bulk water thing working? Do I still have the right to use the bulk water? So it's important to people who live in the district to have that available. And if you're following, if you're having it delivered, you're getting easily a 4,000 gallon load. And that would be, at a penny, would be $40 for the water and whatever you have to pay for having to live on top of that, which is,
Right.
it's potable water, right? You can drink
Yes.
it.
Potable water.
Yes, it is. We can't guarantee the way they're hauling it, though.
Right. I know that the bulk water hauler will charge you $200 for potable, because that's all it's going to carry is potable. Whereas a regular water truck, I would charge like $150, so it's about a $50 difference.
Yeah, and this is potable.
And it's available to them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
So we don't have to worry about security anymore. They can drive here at 2 o'clock in the morning and get some water.
As long as they got a credit card.
Credit card or ATM card.
Okay, and we have lights on there, and then we have a camera on there in case someone does decide to mess with it.
They're in the process right now of mounting the camera. The electrical's been laid. PDT hasn't set the camera, but yes, there will be a camera and lights.
And it's right under one of the street lights on 35th.
Oh, okay. Excellent.
One other question. The hookup, is there a breakaway?
Yes, there is. This was a concern. So
Someone gets on hook.
it's a fixed stainless steel connection with a plastic breakaway in between, and then a regular fire connection after that.
So just in case, you know, like when you're at the gas pump and driving away with that.
I worked for Cal City a
Yes.
long time ago, and we had to water the trees, and guys were forever
Snapping it up.
fire hydrants.
That's a bigger expense.
Yeah.
I did have couple concerns, but this clearly addresses them. I've always been concerned about the haulers reselling the water and then us being liable for water that came from us, was resold, and is contaminated. And that's my concern too, is about the contamination, and this kind of answers both of those.
When it leaves the machine, we're no longer liable for it because we don't supply the containers that it's put in. but when it leaves that machine, it's potable.
Because I know there were those who were getting it, and then they said they were hauling it for other people, but then the other people were paying them to haul it for them.
We have some people with flat beds with 6 of those big white tanks, and they come about every 2 hours during the day, all day long. Come in, fill up, leave, come back, fill up, leave, and so.
Because of people with 5-gallon water cans.
Oh, we have people with a pickup truck with plastic gallon jugs that fill up too. They use the garden hose. So,
They're not our problem.
Yeah, no.
Okay, any further discussion from the board? Any discussion from the public? We have a motion.
So moved.
Second. Moved by Mr. Williford, second by Mr. Shingeldecker to adopt resolution 2017-02. Roll call.
Vice President Shingeldecker.
Yes.
Director Williford.
Yes.
Director Glennan.
Yes.
Director Mackay.
Yes.
President Landsgaard.
Aye.
Unanimous.
Okay, next item is director reports, comments on future agenda items. First one, director reports.
The beloved high-speed rail that everybody is really excited about is going to have a stakeholders working meeting here next week. And I'm one of the stakeholders, and our staff is there too. In the little email they sent out, they still have 4 proposed alignments from Bakersfield to Palmdale. So we still need to keep on it to make sure that the alignment doesn't affect our water, and also the alignment is what the community wants. And there's a member of the MAC that's on the stakeholders working group too. But the next meeting I'll give you a report, and Brach will probably clear up my report after I get.
Yeah, Brach has been keeping close tabs on them, telling them where they're screwing up.
Yeah, they get regular maps of the locations of our infrastructure as well as the concern areas. Mainly the 2 wells, well 8 and well 9, because their alignment goes right between the 2.
I was surprised, and I think they said they're still considering 4 routes.
Well,
They didn't last time, they had pretty much.
Well, they had 2 routes. The main one that they were settled on was to go between the Springs View.
So I don't know if this is
Promise.
just for general public or what.
You know what, I think there's still some friction from the feline compound. It goes just west of the feline compound property.
Yeah.
So there's some friction from that as well as some issues with our infrastructure.
There was a lot of concern
We don't
related
have anything
to
that
last
far out,
meeting,
though.
to the feline compound.
Wells 8 and Wells 9, it crosses right between the 2 of them.
Between A and Gaskell or at Gaskell Road, it crosses over a lot of our main infrastructure.
I think they're getting the cart before the horse. They don't have the money to build it yet.
I agree.
As long as they have the, what's the cap and trade, that they were using the last few years.
They're asking the federal government for billions.
Well, that's not cap for the next 4 years.
I don't think any of us will ever ride on it.
Probably not. Okay, unless you do the short one between Fresno and Bakersfield. Okay, good. Did you have anything with the semi-trucking?
They're nothing significant other than the fact that they're considering changing it to a quarterly meeting. I think what they might do is, I don't know, I'm just speculating, they may go to always a phone meeting, but then a quarterly meeting where I would encourage them where they come and actually sit and see each other.
We've been trying, I think you've been trying that for a while. Since
Yeah.
I've been here,
Yeah.
they've been trying to work that out so we all get together at least for one meeting.
And
it
we're the
just hasn't
perfect
happened.
location because
Let's,
Bakersfield and Coffee can come here and CIN can come here, so we're the perfect location. And they agree to that, but they just haven't.
and also
made
they'd like to tour the water bank.
Yeah, haven't made it work, yeah.
This hasn't worked.
Keep working on it. I push it.
And they're very hopeful that this wet season and the snow will result in some customers wanting to bank their water, and we would be one of them if water is available.
Yeah, good thing.
I have a comment. and maybe a future agenda item. I was going through my archives and I found best practices in strategic planning, effective approaches that work. I also found a 5-year plan, 2014 through 2019. I found a plan for us. It's a 5-year plan. Oops, same plan. 4,000. I also have the South Placer Municipal Utility District plan for 2013. And I was wondering if we couldn't put together, give you these copies and make copies for the whole board, and we do our own plan without bringing somebody in from the outside. We got everything right here, and we save some money. And we use that money to buy water rights.
I think the idea of using those and incorporating those into it, my own professional advice would be that we do have the consultant come in to do the writing. We don't have the staff time and the ability to go through and write something like that, but we can
I got
contribute.
everything here. I got the plan from CSDA.
We got
I've also got,
Right, and if you remember, part of this is.
and here's all the questions that they asked. So you got everything there.
No, you have a lot of stuff. You do have a lot of stuff.
Well, there needs
I
to be
was
a little
reading.
bit more. If we get that on the website under special planning thing, if it's possible to go over the webmasters to do that, make sure that's there, and then also print it. I'd like to see the parks plan on there, whatever other strategic plans we have in that
Right,
spot.
and all these need to be consolidated also with the vision that you guys have had. I've been looking through the last plan that was done, and I don't think it's up to snuff of where it should be. And so by giving the consultant these, but it's also more than that. It's also all the park stuff that you were going to do. How are you going to get to, how are we going to be successful with it and everything? And it's something that needs to be done periodically, and that stuff was done, but we can look through it, and any way we can save money, just like, and that's what I told them. That's why the price, seemed a little bit higher, but I've been knocking it down because we have those documents.
I would still like to see a nice, good facilitator. I don't know if Brent Ives the guy for the job, but obviously he's got great city experience.
Right, and he's the one that's going to be the smaller price because he's worked with us before. And I'm giving him all those documents. He and I are talking right now about scope of work and everything. And I said,
Maybe you can come up with not a consultant, but at least select documents. The actual documents we have, I think we got 2 years ago when we came on the board, the parks plan, the strategic plan that was put together by the bidder board just before I left, the tertiary plan we've kind of been over. I don't think it's been done with anybody for the whole pipe, but there's been some plans laid out there.
that's a master plan rather than a.
Well, that's stuff we need to be looking at as well.
Strategic plan.
Master plan.
All of it goes into this. All of it goes into the strategic plan. The urban water management plan will be part of it. The MSR will be part of it. It's all put together, as one. And let's have the consultant come on and let's talk more about what's going to be the best avenue. I don't think necessarily just taking every document we have and putting it online would necessarily facilitate our success of what we want to accomplish.
What I want to do
But
is
we want to get people as much information as we can.
we want to get them involved. We want to
Absolutely.
educate people where they say, you plan for a year, plant a seed, plan for 10 years, plant a tree, plan for a century, educate people. And if we're going to plan that far ahead, we need to educate the people.
All the strategic,
dig down where
absolutely, all the strategic planning, part of it, if you've ever been involved in the charrettes or anything like that, with any of the cities or anything, it's all part of educating the public and getting their ideas at the same time. Because for them to be able to give ideas better, they have to have a little bit of knowledge too. So it's a little bit of a give and take. But I'm glad, Mr. McKay, that you have all those documents and give them to Lizette. We'll make copies of them and give them to all the board members, and then we'll make sure the consultant has it. And we're going to try to work through what's going to be the most expedient, not just reinvent the wheel. If there's things, as you said, you've seen the urban water management plan. There's a lot of errors in that thing, right? So I'm afraid just copying and pasting is not necessarily going to be it. I want to see it cleaned up and done the right way and go through it and make sure.
we were talking about a couple other things, including a vision statement that includes parks and recreation, for example. It's not in the bidder board's plan, or a mission statement.
It's all part. That's all part of your 2020 vision.
Yeah, the 2014, 2019 didn't have any of that, so that needs to be in there. As Mr. Williford said, you got to educate people. I think he said that last meeting. That's very important. And we need to
And how many,
You're talking about even doing branding, doing the
yeah,
brand.
well, I'm working on the branding, that's my expertise. And so I've been working on the branding also, and I'll work with, but it's, I want to get through some of the strategic planning before we come up with a complete branding. Because that's all part of it, is the citizens' input. But, and how many of you were with Brett Ives and worked with him?
But we went to this workshop, it was.
You went to the workshop, I mean, worked with the actual.
Oh, here?
When he was a consultant
Just
here.
Mr. Glennan.
Just Mr. Glennan?
Yeah, one of the things, and I've been through several of them, not just with Brent, but others. One of the advantages of having a facilitator, especially when you're dealing with the public, rather than John doing it
Or
you
me,
doing it,
or-
it's accepted much better, the report, when there's a facilitator who's neutral, and he's putting each person, let's say each director's thoughts up here, and that there can be, friction on where we see things, and he's the facilitator who has no axe to grind, and so it's received much better by the public and by the board, I think, and staff.
Right, and I think one of the most important things of why staff thought it was important is we have 4 new board members here that have not really set the goals and the vision, and you gentlemen have different ideas than maybe the last board did. And so we want to reflect what this board is thinking and where this board wants to move forward. So, but yes, Mr. McKay, we'll try to save as much money as we can by using those documents and gleaning any amount of information. And if we find something that, hey, this works good, let's just use that, and that's going to save this guy a lot of time. I think I've gotten it down, not counting the public charrettes, but I got them down from close to what we were talking, maybe 120,000, which is the basic one of coming in, and got them down to maybe about 30 or 40,000 for doing it, plus the time of doing the public outreach too. So I think we're gonna get it for about half the price of what we estimated at the beginning, so that'll be good.
Any movement on my app?
Not yet.
Number 60 app, put it on there. Anything else, Mr. McKay? That's it. Mr. Williford? Mr. Shingeldecker? I had a question, I don't know if this is something we had an agenda item. If you took any money in on the connection fees and that type of thing, do we have a budget for that? Do we need to come up with a plan where that money's going to be spent? Or just kind of sit there and someone can come along and plug it off as they see fit?
Brad and I have been sitting down and with the rest of the staff and trying to get, maybe even for the first time, the RCSD's budget to conform with the administrative laws that have been laid out. And that means this agency needs so much in a stability fund, so much in depreciation, so much in impact. So that money, and we took in 695,000.
600, I think.
600 over the Christmas break.
That's all we took in?
That's all we took in. The other day just decided they'll just wait it out instead. So that money, as you know, is for a specific reason. And that money is going to a new well because of development. We have that money to build a new well. If we need a new tank, or we need a new booster pump, that's what that's for. If a water main breaks, that's what depreciation money is for. So depreciation money, we've been taking up, and as you are aware, the budget has been taking 100% of depreciation, but giving back 75% every year, because this agency has been running in the red. Now we have the new rate study. We're going to be moving into the black. That money is built into the rate study to take the depreciation money and set it in another account that we're not going to touch. That money is for infrastructure when it breaks down, depreciation and replacing things.
Can we
Like
put something in the policy that says that the money's not going to be spent on salaries and benefits, like the school district does with Prop 39 money?
This is different than prop money. That's a different situation. It has to be paid on salaries. You need somebody to dig. You need somebody to replace the meters. You need somebody to go out and do the work.
Well,
Right, so that's
Prop
salaries.
30 money, when
No,
they
you-
get a bond, and they put the money, obviously,
that's-
contractors do that.
I've
And
done-
of course, that person digs. And
I know, but I've done several bonds, as you know, right?
Yeah.
When you talk about bond money and not, what you're talking about is, we're gonna take this money here, and we're gonna build a theater, and we're gonna build
And
a
you pay
parking
the
lot.
person
It's
to
not
do
going
the person to build
to,
it, yeah.
correct, and which might be us. It's not to give teachers raises or any of that. And that's all your purview anyway. I mean, you virtually could change the policy down the line and say, hey, you know what? we want to change the policy and take some of this depreciation money and use it for something else. It would be unwise, but you could do it because you're the legislative body. So as of right now, that's what that stuff is set. That is what it's going to be set aside for.
We're going to start a stability fund, and what else?
There's stability fund, there's an O&M stability fund. We're going to look at the funds and see what's really, it was sort of a template that was taken from the CSDA. I don't think it meets our needs and is as workable. Like you're supposed to have $3 million in a stability fund.
And there's 4 reserves that they suggest.
4 reserves, right. But we're going to, Brad's looking through and seeing what works the best. I know for sure you need a depreciation fund.
And we have depreciation funds.
No, we don't. You don't have any of those funds. You have one pot of money that's been used and just picked over whenever you needed money.
You mean the
The
250,000?
RCSD, whatever goes in
Do you have
there.
lower money, or you have?
All the money. All the money just goes into one pot and hasn't really been, every budget's been done and says, you know, it hasn't been done. There hasn't been a 5-year CIP done. There hasn't been a 2-year budget done. There's none of that's been done. And so this year, we're trying, we went through the rough spot. Now this next time, staff is working hard to try to form a 5-year CIP. And the 5-year CIP is what part of that, you know, part of the depreciation and part of the impact fees would go towards, right? And then we're trying to form that stability fund, try to form those reserves and do a 2-year budget for it. So, and that's the best way to function. So right now we're working on trying to get together a 5-year CIP and.
Will that also be part of strategic money, 5-year CIP, or?
Out of the strategic plan will give us a better vision for what the 5-year CIP. And remember, a 5-year document like that is a living, breathing document, right? And you are going to change that at the mid-year budget. You could change it at the annual budget, and that's adopted every single year and can be manipulated. So if we see something on the horizon that's working and we say, hey, we really need to move in this direction, things can change. And that's part of the strategic planning also is what direction you want to go.
And I know that we put $1 million aside in the CIP to put in the purple pipe, Patterson to Westpark, and that never was spent. Whatever happened to that? How does that work? How do we get
Still
that?
sitting there.
That's still sitting there, but of course, remember, some of that was paying the $100,000 a month that we were not gaining in the rates for O&M. So the money was sitting in the pot, whatever money's left over is left over. Remember, the agency has been...
That's another question I kind of have is, purple pipe, does it belong to water or does it belong to sewer?
Well, there's a creative thing that we're looking at about the infrastructure and work. Since
It should belong to both, I think, in some respects. Because the water that you
there's a lot of things that should be but aren't legal.
If you have 40% recharge, that's belongs to the water. If you're taking it from the sewer plant, obviously it belongs to the sewer.
We don't have any recharge, remember, from the recycled water yet. Not in the physical adjudication. We're trying to work towards that, but we don't have that. As of this moment, 100% of the cost, or 100% of the profits, and the burden of recycled water is completely on the sewer.
The recycled water we have is essentially land water that if they went to Westpark, they would every once in a while need to use regular water just to make sure that the minerals get into that.
Whenever you're using the recycled water, the tertiary level water, that hasn't gone through an osmotic filter or all the other filters that they put it through, there are a higher contents of salts, and that you do, and that's when we went down with the city of Lancaster and talked with them and went through their system. Periodically, you have to water everything with potable water in order to flush the system, to flush the plants.
And that's not like I have from my perspective. And next meeting is 2 weeks from today. The 17th. Okay, next up is there anything else? Anybody else? Agenda items or comments? General counsel update.
Happy New Year.
Could you say that in French, please, as you just got back? No? Okay.
Nope.
You got back from France, you didn't have a report for us?
What was I not supposed to say that? She went to Paris. Très bien.
Okay. And someone else planning on the France on her honeymoon. I'll mention any names.
Yes, my honeymoon's going to be at the end. I'm already married, but my honeymoon's going to be in the end of March in 3 nights in Rome, 3 nights in Paris, and 3 nights in Madrid.
Now, the water will be up and running, and John will have your beeper in case he needs to contact you, make sure that if any questions about that.
That's right, yeah. I'll be on the email all the time. Oh, no, you go back to the hotel and get Wi-Fi. If you use data in Europe or something, you'd be dead. You'll come back with a $10,000 bill. Shut your phone down.
Okay, well, congratulations, by the way, on
Thank you.
your marriage.
Thank you.
Mr. Howard?
I have no update.
So that was just my update about my honeymoon.
So do you have anything else?
No, that's it, I'm fine.
Well, we want to make sure everything's still going good.
It is. Yeah, we got lots of good stuff in the works. Hopefully everything is, we'll hear it here in the next couple of days and then we can announce some good stuff. So, see how it goes.
Okay. For you both you and the district, what you're saying?
What's that?
For both you and the district? Good
No,
stuff?
no, for the district.
Oh, okay. Mr. Rockbearan is not here. And then we have Mr. Brach Smith.
I only have a few things because we were closed for Christmas break, but as you know, we approved the contractor to do the concrete at Westpark. They started the concrete repairs last week, and weather dependent, we should be finishing those up by the end of this week. We had 2 service line leaks over the time the office was closed, but staff was called in to repair both of those. That's all I have.
Everything else went smoothly during the 1 week off?
It did.
And Ms. Guerrero. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
By Mr. McKay, do I have a second? Second by Mr. Shingeldecker, the second we adjourn at 7:32 p.m. All those in favor say aye. Unanimous. See you all in 2 weeks unless you have a special meeting for us.
I hope we don't special meeting. I don't like special meetings.
Well, something.
Unless we really have to.
Here we are at Williford Park, where Todd Porter Concrete, is tearing out all that cracked cement that used to be here. They're going to reinstall with rebar mesh where the cracked concrete was here for so long. And finally, the park's going to be repaired. So Todd, you're cleaning up this concrete here at the Williford Park, the children's section that you bid on 3 years ago. Is that right?
Yeah, we are. We're getting her underway, getting her tore out, getting her put her back. Fighting the weather right now, but I think in a couple more weeks we should have her done.
Is it going back kind of the same way it was?
Yeah, but a couple different changes, you know, just so it's more easier to maintain than what they had before.
How come it cracked so bad before?
Well, we got bad soil. They didn't have any reinforcement rebar in it, and that's about it over the years.
Well, you put in that skate park, there wasn't a crack in it, so this will probably be the same way.
Well, hopefully we'll try harder this time.
Thanks very much.